The gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Fitzgerald, for 5 minutes.
Director, thanks for being here this morning. Appreciate it. I think one of the concerns that many members have is now that we've kind of watched the actions that you've taken to clean up the CFPB, complete disaster, that they often relied on kind of vague statutory authority regulation by enforcement and these large expanse of interpretations of the powers instead of actually having some clear rules and limits in place. So I think my concern is moving forward that restoring kind of the legal clarity and the procedural fairness, it means not only kind of defining the CFPB's authorities more clearly, it also means making sure that they were within the proper jurisdiction, right? So I have a bill, to my own horn here, but Restoring Court Authority over Litigation Act, it reflects that the principles by clarifying that conduct of attorneys in litigation is regulated by the courts and not the CFPB. I mean, it seems very obvious, I think, when you look at it from the perspective of the actions that you guys have already taken to fix things over there. But just one question then. How important is it for Congress to establish kind of the clear jurisdictional boundaries so that in the future, I'm worried about the future. I'm worried about us sliding back to this onerous, ridiculous agency. We've got to do something to put something a little bit more clear when it comes to enforcement authority and effectively so you can regulate the practice of law outside of the judicial system. So I'm just wondering kind of your overall comments on that topic.
I think clear boundaries need to be set by Congress to ensure that in a future administration, the CFPB can't grow and be in the novel statutory theory space, which is one of the main areas that it was doing with regard to its enforcement activities.
Yeah, and so as you work through this, again, which I say I appreciate, somebody's cleaning up this mess, but as you work through this, I think it would be something at least to keep in mind that in the future, that Congress have at least some direction on here's the things we need to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
What we just witnessed was a debate over something that may sound technical on the surface, but it has enormous consequences for ordinary Americans. How much power should the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau actually have, and what happens when that power is weakened? During this exchange, Representative Scott Fitzgerald argued that the CFPB had previously relied too heavily on what he described as vague legal authority, broad interpretations of its powers, and what he called regulation by enforcement. His concern was that an agency should not be able to create expansive new interpretations of its authority after the fact and then use enforcement actions to establish rules that Congress never clearly authorized.